And later we're going to talk about tools we can use in order to work in this direction. But let's go towards the third topic. You already start talking about that, but let's focus now on that. It's about uh, what is the impact of compassion. You already shared some things, but can you yeah, just, you could say, some people would say, but what is the practical application of that? I mean, okay, we are taking care of us, we use the common humanity, mindfulness, and kindness, but how is that practical for us as people in our daily life and at work?
hmm Yeah, so the impact of compassion. So if we can learn how to accept or create a kind of sense of space, uh, like a gray zone, an allowing of whatever is present. So if we are not sure about something, if we are feeling doubt, if we are ashamed about something or embarrassed about something, when we can approach that, or if we're resisting feeling something, because often when we have feelings, we resist our feelings. We resist feeling what we're feeling, and that gets us into trouble um, because it just lingers, it persists, it can turn into something bigger. So we learn how to be with whatever is going on, whether it's a mistake, whether it's a conflict in a relationship, whether it's something that maybe in the workplace goes against my values, and I need to somehow figure this out, reconcile with it, or stand up for what I believe is right. Right. So we often encounter these kinds of situations in the workplace and in our personal lives where we think, well, I'm not going to be liked if I speak up. Um, there's also two sides to self-compassion and compassion. One is the softer side, and the other is the fierce side. Right. So it also means engaging, taking actions, making decisions to alleviate the suffering for ourselves or others, setting boundaries, knowing ourselves enough to know this is according to my values, this is not according to my values, and this feels right or it doesn't feel right to me. So that's
Yeah.
part of it as well. Um, Also, we tend to relationally um, get along a little bit better with others. We're not as hard on some of the people that we would otherwise be hard on. We're maybe a little bit more understanding overall. Because although we are more compassionate towards others than we are to ourselves, we still have like that reactionary
Yeah.
mind with our closest people. You know, that can
Yeah.
happen. Or in the workplace, if you're a manager, if you're a leader, you're going to react because you feel so much pressure on yourself. And alleviating some of that pressure means having a better relationship, treating others with compassion, understanding, learning from the mistakes. That also leads to a better leadership quality and a better environment to work in.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So,
And I just wanted to share something about it. Thank you for sharing that about the fierce self-compassion of the soft one, because people see compassion as very soft sometimes,
mm,
but it's not. Definitely, there are two sides of it, and for me, compassion is um, when you are compassionate towards yourself or others. Doesn't mean that you are nice, because some people see it as just nice guy or something, or nice girl.
mm,
It is more. I see it as more. Um, I really see your suffering. I know that you suffer, but in order to stop the suffering, sometimes you need to take actions, and sometimes these actions should be done right now, not staying just in a place of, okay, everything is good. I need to be gentle to yourself, which is part of it, but it's sometimes you need to just stand up and do stuff,
mhm,
and but not saying like from the inner critic side, like you are nothing, you are not enough, that's why you should do it, but not from a place of, I really care about you, I really believe that you have the potential to do stuff, but in order to do that, and for your own good, you need to start doing it. You need to start
Absolutely.
taking actions. And this is a big compassion. It's not only for yourself, but as a leader, as you said, when you're in the organization, you also care. When you're compassionate, you care for your coworkers or your employees, and you want them to and your organization to thrive. And sometimes you need to have this tough love talk, which is part of compassion.
Mm-hmm.
That, okay, I see your potential, but I know that you need to take some actions to really reveal that potential. Otherwise, you're gonna stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one of coach which I was working with. He was talking about his sometimes how he fires people not because of something else, but he's compassionate towards them and towards himself. That he's seeing that they are not for the job. And this is again compassion. I'm compassionate that actually you are not feeling good here. It's not your place, so you can find your own place if this is not here with me. So it's all of this, and it's good to say all of these things, Rose Mina, because I think people get more holistic view on that and understand that compassion can be used for all of these things if it's used the right way. Right? So that's how I see it. And about prosperity, I just want to share. If you have thoughts, also you can tell me about prosperity, because a lot of people talk about prosperity. I want to be prosperous, and I realized that actually, what is prosperity is because people connect it with money very often. I am prosperous. I have a lot of money, which is part of it. But in general, prosperity is you are successful in something, right? You just get prosperous in whatever you do. And I think compassion can be a great key for that. That's what I realized, is because compassion combines the idea of I know where I'm failing, that I'm going to be there for myself or for others. So we are not going to stop, but we're going to continue until we succeed. But also compassion, and we know that in self-compassion book of Christine Neff, she is talking about that compassion, self-compassion and then self-appreciation. So appreciation is part of that as well. So if you combine that, when you combine these two, it becomes so strong too to feel prosperous and successful and to keep going until you actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big shift it was a big shift for me to realize how compassion can be very practical in this direction as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It can help you to reach your life the way you want to live your life. And prosperity and happiness are not just about money, right? There's this happiness index that came out actually this past weekend, and it talks about a lot of different things, like how much well-being do we feel, what kind of resources do we have, how do we relate to others in our communities, do I have what's important to me? If I love nature, can I make more time to go and spend in nature? How do I want to treat others? How do I want to be treated? Like, these are all questions that we can ask, right? And when we are motivated by kindness and compassion, and we can motivate others similarly by not feeding into their negative core beliefs, by not criticizing them, but by working with them and having a dialogue and understanding where they're coming from as leaders, that makes all the difference.